I saw this one video where it was talking about like imposter syndrome, and it's like sometimes you just aren't. Sometimes you actually are an imposter.
Oh my god, that is so nice.
It's not that.
No, that's true.
And
honestly,
I've looked at that, and it's like I see that a lot in like the tech industry. Like for whatever reason,
I
I'm
feel that
following
in the tech industry,
some type of like thing where it's like about like a lot of like black people in tech. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people that are black in tech don't necessarily be having the strongest like affinity to technology. So they are in it, but it's kind of like the same way that you would be in any other job, except for
the lifestyle that they have outside of it that will help them.
No, I'm saying it just
job?
might not be that they don't necessarily have like an affinity with their work materials. Like in the same way that like there's people that it's like I think about the same way with athletes. I feel like there's people that are like athletes and they grew up being athletes, but they are people who have an affinity to it and they become more like they just pick things up because they maybe have been doing it since they were really kids, and that's different from me coming in at like in junior year and like trying to play soccer. I'm gonna feel like I'm not meant to be there.
So like,
because I don't have the same background.
I feel like we can kind of directly correlate to that. And for me, like I didn't start in tech until college.
Yeah.
Where for you, I feel like you've had it a part of your lifestyle
since I was younger. Yeah.
Right. So like for me, when I first started, like I couldn't even freaking know how to execute LS in a command line, and now I'm 10 times past that, and I know how to actually operate in terms of like file manipulation within a command line. But I felt like an imposter for a while. I mean, there's still moments where I still do feel like that.
I think what I was trying to push to you is that it's just about the skills, maybe there are people that look at you and say like, oh well, maybe he can't do it because he's black. But if you could do it and you could show them, it removes that instantly. So it's like
for me, it's not that for me, I don't feel like as an imposter because I'm black. I feel like as an imposter because I might have a certain gap in my knowledge for.
Oh, okay, I see. That's
for achieving a goal.
Yeah, that's more.
And I have to just research it beforehand. Where I feel like usually when people come and talk to you about like if something in tech you need to accomplish, and they say achieve this goal, they feel like you should be a person that can just do it off rip without research. Where I feel like as an imposter, if there's layers within the step that I need to like Google and put in place, and then I achieve that goal and the block is done.
But I think that's every task. No one is saying anytime someone says, oh, I need to get this done, they don't really care how you do it as long as you do it right and get it done. So like even if you have to research, I don't know everything that I'm doing. There's most things that I do in the day-to-day that sometimes I'll do like multiple times a month, but I don't remember how to do it from my head, so I have to Google like, how to resize this drive. I don't remember how to do it. I find the thing, I say, okay, it's these commands, okay, I did it. But that's never like saved in my, I just know how to get to the answer. I don't necessarily know the answer by heart.
Right, and that's where my imposter syndrome like goes back and forth, is me understanding that like you don't have to know it by heart. It's just being able to accomplish it.
Yeah, if you can do it, then you can do it. Unless it's a situation where you need to have it in your memory, then you would just figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people in like the tech industry that are black that view a lot of like people not respecting them being more of a racial thing than like their skill level thing.
That's fair.
I think there's a lot of things where people assume it's people's job to like teach them. And for me, I think I need to do a better job of like accepting that people do know things, so I should let them teach me instead of me trying to figure it out myself, because sometimes it's quicker.
Yeah.
But I think there's a balance there where you shouldn't expect other people to be teaching you. You shouldn't expect your superiors to be teaching you. You're there to fulfill whatever it is that needs to be done. So learn what you can and figure it out. And if you can't do that, understand that, but don't make it like don't think that has something to do with your race, unless you're like the top of your like ability. You know what I mean? Because I would say like I wouldn't consider, if someone is not picking me, unless I'm like top tier at it, there's mad other reasons other than my race why I wouldn't be the best fit. You see?
Right.
So I think
I think that if I'm being honest, well, I don't know if that necessarily matters as much now. I think, and I would also say especially in tech, because I would argue in the tech world they're a lot more loose about appearances, and when you go to like talk to clients and things like that.
Yeah, it's more about like execution, which is
and I believe that there was a time where the race is a factor in order to at least sell whatever value add the company is supposed to be providing to the client. So then you might not get picked for like the proposal.
Maybe, but I just
you were still part of the work, so it doesn't matter anyways.
Maybe. I just think that if you're really good at your job or good at whatever you do, money talks. Like the whole reason why they integrated like baseball, for example, is because they could make far more money with like who added like was it Babe Ruth? Not Babe Ruth. Jackie Robinson. Whoever added Jackie Robinson into their team saw that he was like crazy over here in the Negro Leagues, and they're like, he's doing crazier stuff. He's way better than anyone that's here.
And it's causing more attention over there. And
it's like, it's not even about more attention there. It was like, if I can bring this guy here, it's essentially like
more money.
A superhero into my team that can now, we'll be winning. And so then they do whatever needs to be done to get that. So that one team guy was motivated not because he was, I just care about the equality of races, but because he would make more money if his team was better. And if he can get this other guy over here and change whatever rules need to be done, then he can win.
So essentially, the value add
money talks. That's the thing. Like money is the only thing that matters.
Yeah, the value add of Jackie Robinson overcame
the fact that there was
racial and bias,
and that's what it is every time. So it's like, and I feel that people don't understand that. They keep talking about like, we should be moving away from money. But the second you do that, then that means that there's no value you can add other than your identity. And that means that then they can just say fuck you, and there's no way you can go around.
The other thing in that example, though, if we're talking in terms of the equality, right? You would have to be at this Jackie Robinson level in order to just be getting that equality of more money in the.
But him being able to do that, maybe he's the first person to break the initial door, but that door being open then make everyone else for the third, fourth, fifth, sixth that was still better than.
We can argue that there is people in the Negro League at the time
who were
valued, but still not. They weren't Jackie Robinson level, so then they didn't get equated into that.
No, but they definitely still got, maybe not right that year or whatever, but then other teams started taking other chances because there were still better players in those leagues than were in the main white league or whatever it was called.
But
if there's value there, people will come and get it. If you can provide value, people will come get it.
In terms of the business ad, yes.
Because that's the only thing that people care about is money. So because business is there for money, that means if you can become better at this, it doesn't matter what your ideology is, it doesn't matter what it is, people will accept that because it's they can make more money out of it, or it's a better product essentially.
Better ad.
So I see, if you're saying that we should be moving away from that, then what is the opportunity? How are we supposed to, like, if say things are fucked up and people are not getting the rights they deserve or not getting the opportunity they deserve, how can you even get an opportunity? And they say, well, then people should be saying that they should get an opportunity, but then it's based off of arbitrarily what those people are choosing to say needs to move. Whereas money is something where, like, it's less in control of a person.
But money is the reflection of the value that they bring. So like Jackie Robinson was valued because of the actual actions that were happening when he was on the field.
Exactly.
And then it was just reflective. Well, actually, we can also say that I'm not 100% sure on this. I'm sure that there are documents out there that he was either getting played higher than the other white players or getting paid lower than the white players.
Oh, he probably was not getting paid anywhere near.
He wasn't getting paid anywhere near. Which is where the equality piece comes in.
But he opened up the door, is what I'm saying, for...
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure at some point he was making a lot of money. Maybe at the beginning he wasn't.
Yeah,
but at some point he was making like
because
more than he ever made in the Negro Leagues.
Yeah, he had to argue for it. Which is, I think that's where the inequality comes into play, though. What? Is in like making sure he's getting paid equal or more. Because
but how is even the
regardless
idea is, like,
of the fact,
how would they even be able to give him money in the beginning before they knew he was bringing in more money? See what I mean? Because that's a bad deal.
But so like,
because what if like people?
It's like when you sign a star player, you give them you know, this X amount of millions of dollars, and then the next year after they prove themselves more, they get more, but they still got this like standard because they were the star player. And what I'm saying is, in this example, Jackie Robinson probably is not getting that X amount of millions of dollars. He's probably getting lower than the average player, and that's where the inequality is coming.
But it's not inequality because you're paid off of what.
But if it was a white player,
but he wasn't a star. But even then, that person still would have been getting lower because they didn't know whether he was going to perform like that yet. Even now, in like contracts, rookie years, you're not getting paid. Even if you're the number one rookie, you're still not getting paid the same as anyone on the team.
But we're not even talking about rookies, right?
But that's the equivalent of like he's coming into a new.
No,
Yes, it is. He was the first black player to ever play in whatever the current MLB was. So it's as though he's coming in, and he's a rookie year of that league. No one knows how he's going to perform underneath these new environment or whatever. Anyone that was going to pay him crazy amount is crazy. That you have no idea what's going to happen.
My argument is that compare it to he's coming from.
I'm still saying that he probably got paid less than if a white guy had been.
That's my point. Saying,
but that is because of the way things are.
How things were back then. Yes.
So I'm saying in order to change that, someone has to take a step, and a step can't be taken unless there's some sort of like potential monetary gain that can be done for that happening. And I'm saying that.
Right, because they're not necessarily. You're saying that they're not necessarily going to do that because there.
It's not even just them. No one's going to do that. Like if it was reversed. And it was a black person, do you think a black person wants to lose money? At that time, you're a business person. You're thinking business-wise. It has nothing to do with race. It's all about whether this is going to hurt or help my business.
Yeah.
So you can just erase race out of it completely when you're talking about money.
Yeah, I hear that.
Especially, like even look at companies. They be putting up different flags and things in their bios and all this type of stuff and changing their logos. It's about money. They have no ideologies. They have no... It's purely about money. So
to make a profit.
Yeah. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. If you like this video and like more videos about black tech or black tech experiences, please comment and like this video, and we'll be back at you with some more content. See you guys later.